everyone, and welcome. Get comfy, maybe grab a blanket, because you've just tuned into Scary Bedtime Stories. That's right, a series of bite-sized tales designed to keep you up just a little bit later than you planned. Each story is told from my perspective, so you're right there with me, feeling every shiver, every creeping shadow, every unexplained noise. We're diving into the kinds of stories that make you double-check the locks and listen a little too closely to the creaks in your house. So, if you're ready for some chills, some thrills, and maybe a little bit of what was that? Turn off the lights, and let's get started. Sweet dreams, or not. Today, we're diving headfirst into a story that'll send chills down your spine. We're talking about The Shadows Within, a tale set in a seemingly peaceful town, but one that hides a dark and unsettling secret. Imagine an old, abandoned Victorian house, the kind that just screams, "Stay away." For years, locals have done just that, whispering about a terrible tragedy that unfolded within its walls, leaving behind nothing but a decaying shell and chilling legends. But what happens when curiosity gets the better of a few brave, or perhaps foolish, souls? Join us as we follow four friends on a crisp autumn night as they decide to ignore the warnings and step inside this infamous house. What starts as a dare quickly spirals into a terrifying encounter with the unknown. Get ready for unexplained noises, moving shadows, and a mystery that will leave you questioning what lurks just beyond our perception. Trust me, you won't want to watch this one alone. Let's get into it. In the heart of a quaint town lay an old, abandoned house, its towering silhouette a grim reminder of the past. The locals avoided it, whispering tales of a family tragedy that had once unfolded within its walls. The once grand Victorian house was now a shell, its windows like empty eyes staring into the night. On a crisp autumn evening, four friends, Alex the skeptic, Mia the believer, Jake the joker, and Rachel the cautious, gathered at the edge of the woods. The dare had been made, and tonight they would explore the infamous house. As they approached, the trees seemed to close in around them, casting long, ominous shadows. The house loomed before them, its front door slightly ajar, as if beckoning them inside. Despite the initial hesitation, they stepped into the musty darkness, their flashlights casting weak beams. The interior was decaying, cobwebs clinging to chandeliers, and dust coating every surface. Mia spoke of the legend, a family torn apart by madness and loss, their spirits trapped within. Alex dismissed it, but the air felt thick, heavy with an unseen presence. Upstairs, strange noises echoed, footsteps, whispers, the creak of wooden floorboards. Rachel clung to Jake, her fear palpable. As they explored, shadows moved of their own accord, doors slammed shut on their own. The skeptic in Alex wavered, fear creeping into his voice. Suddenly, a chill swept through the hallway, and a shadowy figure darted past. The group froze, their breaths sharp. Mia urged them to leave, but it was too late. The lights flickered, and when they steadied, Rachel was gone. Frantic, the trio called out, but only echoes replied. They stumbled through the darkness, desperate to escape. In their panic, they missed the whispers urging them deeper. As they reached the front door, a hand grasped Alex's shoulder. "Rachel," her eyes wide with terror, her voice barely a whisper, "it's inside me." The next morning, the house was quiet, the door closed. Rachel was never seen again. The legend grew, a cautionary tale of curiosity gone wrong. Years later, travelers reported shadows in the windows, and whispers in the night, a haunting reminder of the shadows within, waiting for the next curious souls to dare enter. Tonight, we're diving into a chilling tale that will make you think twice before looking in any mirror after dark. Our story takes place in the ominously named small town of Darkwood, where an unsettling feeling hangs in the air as the sun sets. It's the kind of night where you just know something isn't right, and the streets empty out as quickly as possible. At the center of this creeping dread is a young woman named Emily, living in an old house on Umbra Street. She's always been captivated by an antique mirror in her room, a beautiful object that seems to hold secrets within its ornate frame. But one night, as she tries to sleep, that fascination turns into sheer terror. Imagine drifting off, only to feel like you're being watched. Then, the reflection in your mirror starts to twist, the room behind you warping in impossible ways. And then, you see it. A shadowy figure, eyes glowing with an unearthly light, standing right behind you. What happens when that figure decides to step through the glass and into your reality? Get ready for a story of fear, vanishing, and a terrifying message left behind that will make you question what might be lurking just on the other side of your own reflection. This is The Shadow in the Mirror, and trust me, you'll want to keep the lights on for this one. Let's get started. As the sun set over the small town of Darkwood, a chill ran down the spines of the residents. It was a night like any other, but the air was thick with an eerie feeling that something was off. The streets were empty, save for the occasional passerby hurrying to find shelter from the darkness. In a small, old house on Umbra Street, a young woman named Emily lay in bed, trying to fall asleep. She had always been fascinated by the antique mirror that hung on her wall, its intricate carvings and ornate frames seeming to whisper secrets to her in the dead of night. But as she drifted off, she began to feel a presence watching her. At first, Emily thought it was just her imagination, but as the night wore on, she started to notice strange things. The mirror seemed to be reflecting an image that wasn't quite right. The room behind her appeared distorted, as if it was being warped and twisted in ways that defied explanation. And then, Emily saw it. A shadowy figure standing just behind her, its eyes glowing with an otherworldly light. She tried to scream, but her voice was frozen in her throat. The figure began to move closer, its presence filling the room with an unspeakable horror. As Emily watched in terror, the shadowy figure reached out a dark, spectral hand and touched the mirror. The glass seemed to ripple and distort, like water on a hot summer day. And then, the figure stepped through the mirror and into Emily's bedroom. The last thing Emily saw was the figure's twisted, evil grin, before everything went black. The next morning, Emily's parents found her bed empty, the mirror lying shattered on the floor. But as they looked closer, they saw something that made their blood run cold. A message, scrawled on the wall in Emily's own handwriting: "The shadow is coming for you." And with that, the darkness closed in, leaving the people of Darkwood to wonder if they would ever be able to sleep again. The legend of the shadow in the mirror spread like wildfire, a cautionary tale about the horrors that lurk just beyond the edge of town. As we wrap up tonight's scary bedtime stories, I want to take a moment to reflect on what we've shared together. After diving into those two chilling tales, The Shadows Within and The Shadow in the Mirror, I'm left with a serious case of the creeps, and I bet you are too. What strikes me most about both of these stories is the insidious nature of fear and the unknown. In The Shadows Within, it starts with a dare, a seemingly harmless exploration of a local legend. But curiosity, as they say, can be a dangerous thing. The abandoned house isn't just a place, it becomes a vessel for something darker, something that can latch onto and consume its victims. The ending, with Rachel's terrifying transformation, really highlights how these unseen forces can become internalized, blurring the line between the haunted place and the haunted person. It makes you wonder what kind of unseen baggage, what kind of shadows within our own lives, might be lurking beneath the surface. Then we have The Shadow in the Mirror, which taps into a more primal fear, the violation of our personal space, the idea that something sinister can cross over from another realm right into our bedrooms. The antique mirror, initially a source of fascination, becomes a portal to something malevolent. The distorted reflection and the eventual emergence of the shadowy figure are truly unsettling. And that final message, "The shadow is coming for you," leaves a lingering sense of dread, suggesting that this entity isn't confined to one place or one person. It's a spreading darkness. So, what can we take away from these stories? Perhaps it's a reminder to respect the unknown, to be mindful of the energies and histories that might reside in certain places or even within ourselves. Maybe it's a caution against letting our curiosity lead us down paths where we might encounter things we can't comprehend or control. Ultimately, both stories leave us with a sense of unease, a feeling that there are forces beyond our understanding at play in the world. They remind us that sometimes, the most terrifying shadows aren't just in the dark corners of old houses, but they can also manifest in the most unexpected and personal ways, like a reflection staring back with something sinister behind it. Hope you enjoyed these stories. Sweet dreams, if you can get any tonight. Hey, horror fans. If you enjoyed our chilling tales and want to keep the spine-tingling stories coming, don't forget to hit that like button. Your support keeps the darkness alive. Share this video with your friends, let's spread the fear together. And if you haven't already, make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications, so you never miss a hair-raising moment. Join our community of thrill seekers and prepare for more eerie adventures. Thanks for watching, and remember, stay scared.